Call the meeting order 11:03. Please join us for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, please call the roll.
Chairman Chicanetti.
Present.
Trustee Hilliard.
Present.
Trustee Penna.
Present.
Fiscal Officer Patriarca.
Present.
Okay, all present and accounted for. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the May 6, 2025 meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Summary of the work session, please.
We need, we had a correction on the April 15th minutes, do we need,
Is there a needed correction on it?
yeah, there was a correction on it.
Okay.
You know what?
What is the correction?
Yeah, what is,
I don't know if we need to put on there, anything on there. I don't know if it does.
Well, Rachel's not here.
Hold on a second.
We can come back and approve that if we need to. Okay. Summary of the work session, please.
Today during the work session, we went into executive session at 8 a.m. under Ohio Revised Code 121.22 to discuss the composition of the fire department and an application for economic development. We reconvened at 10:35. At that point in time, the zoning director updated us on the soliciting permit process and proposed fee increase, as well as the upcoming zoning commission cases and board of zoning appeals cases. The service director updated us on the road paving projects, the OPWC concrete repair projects, the Haddon parking lot expansion, curbside brush drop or collection will be Monday, June 9th, beginning at 7 a.m. And then we discussed the payment plans for the new truck purchases happening later this year. Fire chief updated us on the command vehicle 1, engine repairs to 2733, and current Grand River staffing costs. We discussed the vacant property resolution under the limited home rule resolutions that will be on second reading today. And we gave a recap of the conversations we had during the ICSC convention in Las Vegas last week. We discussed the upcoming NCA development at Casement and the possible coordination of a roundabout with Paintsville City. And then we went back into executive session. Oh, no. We went into it at 10:35. We came out of it this morning earlier than that. I'll find the time. Under Ohio Revised Code 121.22 to discuss composition of the fire department, and we exited executive session at 11:01.
Okay. Thank you. Any old business from the floor? Okay. Any new business? If you're here to discuss anything, this is that portion. We ask you come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name's Jim Doganero. I own the property at 2100 Manor Avenue. The vacant lot, 3 lots, up to Popeyes. I was here a year ago for Popeyes. I wasn't included on any of the decisions for that. Obviously, I'm not included with development of the property next to me. There's a trailer there now, Apple, looks like Apple Construction or Apple something, outhouse, orange cones. Called here 2 weeks ago, last week. There's no permit. The property hasn't transferred through here or the auditor's department. I can't find out anything. Rumor is it's a marijuana. I talked to Sean, he said there's a marijuana facility going there. I asked who bought the land, no one knows. The auditor office don't know. How are you going to do any construction on the land if there's no permit and who owns the property? I know prior to this, Gary Miller owned it. I don't know if he still does. A year ago, I asked if the asbestos was tended to, the oil and the solvents, which it wasn't. Called the state, and it was after that. I was told a meeting a year ago that we had plans for Popeyes. I'll stop by and show them to you. I'm still waiting. I'd like to know who owns the 3 lots. If it's still the Miller Group, I don't know. I was told by Sean 2 weeks ago that the middle property is going to be a dispensary. the property next to Popeyes is going to be an easement for Popeyes and the marijuana facility, and the property next to me, they don't know as of yet. All three properties from Popeyes was built about 1.5 feet off the ground, run off to the back of the property in the northwest corner of my property. When it really rains heavy, it comes in my property and floods. My thing is today, I can't find any information. Was the permit issued and to who to build the dispensary or the property? Who owns the property? Is it the Miller Group? And what is the Apple trailer there, outhouse and orange cones, if there's no permit pulled? Who approved this and when? Any plans for the last lot? Is there any consideration for someone living in the area as myself, given or notifications for neighbors, neighboring properties? Mine, ? Whether by law or politeness.
So the ownership, my understanding, is still Gary Miller, and they're doing a land lease on the property. Is that correct?
According to GIS, it still shows it was Gary Miller.
Yeah, that's our understanding. Gary Miller still owns the property. They're doing a long-term land lease, but we don't know. That's not our specifics to get into. That's between the two property owners. I'm pretty confident on that. Correct?
Correct. So the middle parcel is a land lease. When that name changes on the auditor site, that could change during the land lease, during or after. Gary Miller owns the surrounding horseshoe property abutting the property he owns, and the other ones along Millmore.
And then the back portions as well. Correct?
Yeah, that's the horseshoe that basically goes the full length of the 700 feet from Menor Avenue all the way back to water.
The first 100 feet is level, and then towards that lot next to me drains to the northwest corner to my property. As the back of the property drains in the back, I'm not very concerned about that, but it's still draining towards me. When we get a heavy rain, if you want, I'll call you. You can see the flooding, and it goes to the back of the property over to Millmore. And they've been surveying it enough. They had 4 surveyors there about a week ago, or 4 trucks. And I haven't heard anything about anything, and that's why I'm here.
Well, there was a lot split to split those into
Yes.
different parcels. So there's not at this point. There's no development happening on the property between the developing property now and yours. That at this point there's no development that we're aware of
But the
taking
3
place.
lots are next to me, excuse me. You have the one that's not going to be developed next to me, the middle one's going to be the dispensary.
And then the one behind it.
And there's going to be an easement on the side for Popeyes and the marijuana
Correct.
dispensary.
Correct.
So is there a permit given that middle property to them to build? Why is that 12 by 60 trailer there if there's no permit?
So, in terms of, he's probably placing the trailer there for during construction of removal of that concrete pad and development of the land itself.
Probably, or is it?
Well, so that's why it would be sitting there during construction.
Yeah, I would say that their construction to take it off of the lot. Gary Miller, the property owner of both parcels, we're assuming we don't get involved necessarily with private contracts, but one would assume that they're putting it on that vacant parcel by the property owner gave them permission to do so while they're constructing the and making the improvements to the lot where their building is going to go.
Sean, was this presented and approved by the zoning commission?
Yes.
Okay, so there was an approval process, I believe, by the zoning commission for the site plan.
Is that public record?
That would be, yes.
Yeah. All meetings are public record. And the county has, and that went to the planning commission for approval too, correct? Or site plan review?
They made comments.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
the county, yeah.
So county had made comments about stormwater. They met those criteria in terms of where water flow will go, where can it go, where can it not go, mitigating any issues for there.
Because that was part of the delay. They were supposed to start this a couple months ago, but the county was holding it up for stormwater approval.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is one of your concerns, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that vacant property, your property's, Popeyes was elevated at least a foot. I didn't measure it, foot and a half I could see from me. So you're going like this, and you're going like this, and the final lot comes like that in the northwest corner of my property, even before they did anything. If you get a hard rain, I'll be happy to call you, you'll see it's flooded and the runoff goes to Millmore. So with Popeyes being elevated The next lot, if it's an easement, so be it. The next is a marijuana clinic or whatever it may be, dispensary. And then that final lot, that corner to my back property, I just put a 3-panel fence. That's why I'm wondering, I had to get a permit. Well, if they have a permit, I'd like to see it or know about it. Because the last permit for Popeyes was given, and we didn't worry about the asbestos or the oil or solvent in the ground until they were notified, the state. I'm wondering about the runoff. You're gonna have more runoff coming in my area and what anybody's gonna do about it.
So runoff, so the old car lot, I mean, that is actually absolute worst case scenario. It is all pavement, and when it was built, it just ran off wherever it ran off. So as Popeyes got developed, all the water that falls on their property has to remain on their property and get collected into the storm sewer.
Part of their delay opening was to make sure that they were meeting the stormwater standards that they had to.
So as additional properties get developed, the runoff is going to be reduced. They're going to be required by the Lake County Stormwater Department to collect all of their stormwater on their site and possibly treat it or release it into the storm sewer. So as this big sea of pavement, the old park or car lot gets developed over time, runoff to your property should be reduced.
So there's a permit issued for that middle property then for the dispensary? And
Yes.
who is it issued to?
That would
For the
be,
building department, like, are you talking construction permit?
Or whatever they're gonna do there?
Oh.
I think it's pretty,
it would be Amplify.
I
which
don't
would be the
know.
company.
what your laws are or whatever. I'm just a normal Jim or Joe, and I live there. You got 4 lots, one's developed now. You're gonna develop, you guys, township's gonna develop 3 more. And I'm sitting there waiting, not being notified. I hear rumors it's a marijuana facility. And little by little, you see surveyors there. About 6 months ago to a year, the surveyors were there. Then they tore the building down in a snowstorm for the asbestos not to spray everywhere, which was a good way of doing it. They had to water it down if they were to tear it down. And that was about, give or take, January area. And that was done. And then the oil had to be sucked out. I'm wondering what's in them big vats that are empty now. I didn't see them pull them out of the ground. Is it water? Are they empty tanks or whatever? And I was told everything was done to code, and the county had nothing to do with it. And the county did after the state was notified that there's oil and solvents in it. I seen 3 trucks suck it out, 3 tankers. So obviously something was in it. Now I'm wondering what's going to happen now. Is there a permit? What is the permit for? What are they going to do? How are they going to develop it? If it's public record, I'd like to know, since I'm 2 lots. My understanding is they keep saying you're not the lot next to it. Okay, I'm 2 lots away, I'm 150 feet. They can't build 50 feet within my property, so that leaves 100 feet. If they wanted to buy me out, I'll be happy to sell at a good rate to develop it. But in the meantime, I still think I should be notified about what's going on.
So they pulled all the zoning permits needed for the Amplify building. Nothing currently has been proposed for the Gary Miller property, adjacent to yours.
I know that I'm not.
Yeah, so they would need a 50-foot buffer there, but currently nothing fruition. And knowing Gary Miller, it might sit vacant for a while.
So the site plan submitted with that's public record.
Yeah.
You can view those, right? We can.
Yeah.
I can print them out, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
if you
I would
can, please
appreciate
provide
it.
those to us.
Yeah.
And I hope we do it this time. We didn't do it a year ago.
yeah, I mean, I've been in contact. I've called and said, hey, this is up here. I think it sat up front for a while because I have no qualms on telling any resident, what's going in or where things
especially
are
it's
going.
public record.
Yeah,
And even the lot next to me isn't being developed.
Right.
You're 100 feet away from something that you don't even know what it is. And you could say, well, that's not next to you. It's still next to you. I could still see Popeyes.
yeah.
And they could see in my property. I put a fence over the weekend so they can't, their headlights don't look in my property and see what's the grilling area and whatever for more privacy, because I have no privacy from 20 on looking into it. Something that affects somebody in the area, I think they should be notified, whether it be by law, I don't know what the laws are, or just out of consideration that I'm in this area. No, Euclid and Wickliffe, you couldn't move or breathe till somebody was notified or whatever. And it'd be in the paper, it'd be everywhere. I just feel like they're trying to sneak something by us. I don't know.
They're not trying to sneak.
Not at all.
And your last name, is it pronounced Dajanero?
Dog and arrow.
Doganero, okay. No one's trying to sneak anything. There's a legal process that plays out, and we have to follow it. A community you mentioned, like Wickliffe and whichever Euclid, I
Euclid,
think you
yes.
said. I mean, so those are cities. They
Yeah.
have they're different than what townships are. So we're operating within what the law states that we have to do. And it's not that we're trying to avoid, we're operating within the law, and we don't know what anybody else might want. I mean, we've been working hard on this property with that building to get it cleaned out. And there's going to have to be some remediation, I'm sure, some of the concerns you shared about oil and such in there. Nothing could be, and we don't do building, we do zoning and zoning only. So from a zoning aspect, we're maintaining what we have, and we can share anything that has to do with the zoning. But when it gets to building, well, that would be the county, because that's where they draw their permits from.
Yeah.
So, well, the county doesn't have anything perhaps yet because they haven't submitted for plans because they're going through the zoning process.
You know, my concern is last time with Popeyes going in and the lot was vacant, the building was asbestos, and you had the solvents in the ground, and I was told that everything's covered, your permits are
Well, who
fine.
told you that?
It doesn't matter, I don't want to point out anybody. But in the meantime, I ended up calling the state, and the state got involved to take the solvent out and the asbestos. By then, I was told everything's done by law, everything's fine, and it wasn't. So my concern is once bitten, twice shy. I was bitten by that. It was done properly now, after a couple calls were made around Christmas of last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they're going to be putting in buildings,
Yes, I understand.
stores. So anything that's there is going to get dug up and replaced. I mean, they can't just come in and build on top of that. So, you know, there's going to be parking lots there. There's going to be buildings for stores.
Well, you're saying that now that it was done, but it wasn't going to be done.
I can't speak to conversations you had, but speaking with the the developers of this property, they well know that there was asbestos in there, and that was part of the delay of them tearing the building down in the beginning.
Yes.
And they hired an asbestos remediation company who has to
I
go through the
understand.
EPA
I'm
processes.
talking
So
about the oil and solvents in the ground, that wasn't going to be attended to.
It would have to be.
it would have to be.
It would have
You
to
can't
be. They
develop
can't
that
just-
without. The
Well,
EPA would
according to
never.
the state, they didn't know nothing about it.
Well,
Well,
maybe the
that's-
state hasn't been notified
Yeah,
at
just
this
'cause-
point yet. I mean, there's a
Right.
process that plays.
What's that?
Maybe we'll be talking at the same time here, not trying to do that.
It's really irrelevant, it's done now, and it's been done correctly. And I'm just looking forward,
Sure.
and after getting bit by that, in my opinion only, maybe not yours, that I don't want to happen again on any of these three properties.
Well,
I might have no say on it, but I'm living right next door. And I know when I bought it 9 years ago, nobody wanted it. It was foreclosed. It went down to 130,000, and that's around where I purchased it. And it was vacant for a year and a half. So you could say it's a good property now, but 9 years ago, there was nobody that wanted it.
Well, we had a lot of those in the township back then. That was a problem throughout the United States 10, 12 years
And
ago.
they
So
want to raise the tax up now to make up for it, triple or quadruple.
as far as the stormwater goes, and like you mentioned, and Trustee Penna commented, I mean, the water has to stay on the lot before it goes off, and so any development that takes place on those two lots, they're required per stormwater, and that's part of the process. Is they go through stormwater, and they even said it was delayed because of that. They go through great lengths, making sure that this is all taken care of. So if you're getting water on your property now, I'm not sure where it's coming from, other than they moved everything.
No, it was coming from prior to that.
It was happening
Yeah.
yeah, it's
before all
probably
this
'cause it's
happened?
just concrete
Yeah.
with no drains. That's why.
Yeah, so, I mean, this whole area, that's the one thing about development is a lot of times people don't like developments, and I sure understand that. But one of the things that because when I moved here 20 years ago, there was flooding I live in Lake Erie Shores, which is in the far northeast section of the township. There was flooding extensively in my community, and then, why is all this flooding coming from? It gets really complicated, but one of the things about the developments when they go in, or new development, is they're required to put in stormwater basins, and they have to legally keep the stormwater on that property at pre-development stages. So when this thing is done, whatever goes there, your property is gonna, it better damn well be better than what
Same
it
or
is today. I would fully expect that, and if it's not, well, then I would say something wasn't done right, because when they do these, they have to keep the water on there through the grading process, and it can't overrun. These basins are designed to hold the water based upon the amount of concrete, the amount of surface water runoff. So there's a lot of good things that are going to come out of it from a stormwater aspect.
Maybe stormwater, but
I
I don't
think
know
better-
what's going
I mean, ideally, nothing goes there, right? And
No, I didn't say
I think the
that.
better thing to say is that at minimum, it by rights should not get worse and likely will improve.
And I
But
have
based
no-
on, but you have a vacant parcel next to you that is not developed, no stormwater improvements are being made there. So any water that's on that surface is still going to roll off until it gets
That's the
developed.
worst property towards mine.
Correct.
Pretty
So
much.
that's not going to change. But
Starts up here and goes like this.
correct. But
I'm
any
sure.
water that's on the parcel that's being developed, that is getting stormwater installed, so it will be maintaining the water on
I'll
that
bet I'm
property.
4 feet lower than the top part back there. You got surveyors, you've gone through it, they've gone through it numerous times, 3-4 times already. Okay, thank you, and I like that records of what's going there, pretty much. It's pretty hard for me to say I'm really gonna like it or not like it when it's 150 feet away. I have no idea what's going there. And I think in the future, you guys do what you want. You have laws, it's a township, you said they're not as stringent as the other cities. But if I'm 2 lots away and I'm in your township, somebody should notify us or say something. And if there's a meeting, I'd like to know. I didn't know Popeyes, I didn't know about this. You would say it's public, when is it public record that, okay, we're gonna talk about this property? I would have been.
All our meeting dates and times are posted on our
Yeah,
website,
but
and they're
I don't
always
know what
there.
you're discussing when you have a meeting. I'm just gonna show up every meeting and wait? I'm not saying. I mean, I don't even wanna be here now. I didn't wanna be here a year ago. Okay, thank you.
thank you for your time.
Okay. Any other new business from the floor? Hearing none. Lake County Sheriff's Office not here.
He was in a meeting, he couldn't make it.
Oh, then okay. Department reports. Service Department. Okay. Fire. Zoning.
Nothing added this time.
Legal.
I just wanted to close the loop on the zoning complaints for the process. I don't know if I updated the trustees at the last meeting or not, but I did get word back from the clerk of courts. And Mandy is aware as well, and I think she has, is gonna be preparing this. The clerk of courts for Lake County met with all 4 judges during one of their meetings, and they decided to essentially treat this like any other normal civil case, which means the township would have to pay $300 for every filing fee for the zoning violations. Previously, we would file a criminal complaint, and then when the case is resolved, that person, the property owner, would be responsible for paying the court costs and everything. Right now, we are responsible for paying it because we are the plaintiff in the actual filing the complaint. So right now, the filing fee, like all civil cases, is $300. So in order to pursue these zoning violations, that's what we have to do.
So then, would we have to update our code then? So does our code specifically state what the penalty is?
It's up to $500 per day. But what we could also do.
Do we need to update to say, and it will include the filing, all court costs?
No, so that's part of the disposition of the case is, if there's a settlement, right? Cause you'd have terms of a settlement or the court can order that the defendant pay court costs. And if they do that, then we could potentially get our money back.
How are court costs being paid previously?
So we would never have to
On a
pay
criminal
for anything
case.
because it's a criminal case. We filed a criminal complaint, and then whenever the case is resolved, that's when the defendant would be ordered to pay court costs.
And is there any way to still file them as criminal?
No.
Is that only
That's
home
the
rule?
new law.
Is that home rule or at all?
No, at all. That is the new law that went into effect April 3rd or 4th. It dictates the venue.
Our legislatures, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and no one really knows why they changed this. But now it has to be filed as a civil action in the court of common pleas.
So this no longer goes to
Painesville
Painesville Muni?
Correct.
And
So you
Yeah,
can
it's-
recoup the cost.
Was
Yeah,
that-
I mean, court
You just- you just
in
pay
our
the
settlements, we
exact
make
cost.
sure all settlements include the recouping of that $300.
That's exactly right.
Assuming that the judges
Yeah.
are all on the same page.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was.
Right, because our fine of up to $500 per day is, well, give me $10 and we'll call it, and a donation.
Yeah.
Correct, and I guess that's
Well,
my-
that was under criminal before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was how they operated under criminal. Civil,
So this might be a little bit
a
different.
little different.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Double-edged sword.
Okay, administrator,
Nothing additional.
fiscal officer.
I'm gonna be asking you guys, here to be passing a resolution to, adopt or put the township budget, schedule, hearing for the next meeting. Also this week, we met with or last week, I should say, the auditors, and they're gonna be in here doing the audit for 22 and 23, and then they're also gonna do the audit for the coronavirus relief funds too, so they're gonna be doing both of those audits.
Did we actually address the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah, that was.
You're good?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, trustees, then I need a motion to schedule. Do we need a motion or we just declare a
Yeah.
public hearing?
Just, I mean, it's in the agenda, I would just.
Yeah.
All right, so we need a motion and a second, and then that's it.
Yeah.
A vote.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need a motion to schedule the budget hearing for fiscal year 2026 at the next regular scheduled meeting, 11 a.m. on Tuesday, June 17, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
So we are going to table.
So, yes, Mr. Chairman, I neglected to mention during my presentation of the meeting that, I will be asking that the resolutions numbers 2 and 3 be tabled for the next meeting.
Can I do that in one swoop, or do we have to do each one separate?
You could entertain a motion to table resolutions 2 and 3 on the agenda for
Okay.
the next meeting on
Okay.
June 17th.
So I need a motion to table the proposed resolutions number 2 and number 3 until our next scheduled meeting of June 17, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I need a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing Painesville Township to participate in the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve purchase of 3 new trucks from Kenilworth of Richfield in the amount of $351,360 and 3 plow packages for the new trucks in the amount of $433,500 from M-Tech for this road department.
So moved.
Second discussion.
Okay.
Just want to clarify in these dollars. So the trucks, the 351, that's each,
Total.
and then the total would also be on the plow packages.
Yes.
Of 111 each.
So total for all 3 trucks is 880 something, 885.
784.
785, I'm sorry, 785. For 3.
Okay, I'm good.
Just to clarify, it's Kenworth of Richfield.
What'd I say?
It's I mean, there's an extra.
Oh, it's
line in
Kennels.
there. It's Kenworth.
Do we need a motion
I
to?
would amend.
Okay, first I'll need a motion to amend resolution number 5, changing the word Kenilworth to Kenworth of Richfield.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So then I need a motion that I'll ask for a motion now on the amended resolution to adopt a resolution to purchase 3 new trucks from Kenworth of Richfield in the amount of $351,360 and 3 plow packages for the same new trucks in the amount of $433,500 from M-Tech for the road department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve a repair estimate in the amount of $20,101.36 to Countryside Truck Service for repair on truck number 2733 in the fire department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to adopt a resolution to approve hiring of Braxton Bartone as a temporary summer worker in the service department at a rate of $18 per hour with no benefits, a start date of June 2nd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we are going to, this is the second reading of Home Rule Resolution LHR 2025-00 001, creating registration for closed mortgage properties and vacant property, providing for purpose, intent, and applicability of the resolution, requiring the registration and maintenance of certain real property by mortgagees and vacant property owners, providing for severability and an effective date.
That is correct. So that's the second
So that's the
reading.
second reading.
And Mr. Chairman, just, I know the trustees have discussed at length a number of concerns or questions regarding this legislation. I think it would be eligible for a vote today, but it sounds like that there might be some edits or modifications. I would recommend that this be tabled, this resolution be tabled to the next meeting as
Okay.
well.
So then I'm going to need a motion to table decision on resolution LHR 2025-0001 until the June 17, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else? Okay, motion to adjourn at 11:34.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned. And we're clear.